Hi viewers, and welcome to our first biology lesson presented by NAMCOL in an all-new series. Today we'll have a conversation about conservation, okay? We will look at what conservation is, what it has to do with tourism, and the recycling of materials. After watching this lesson, we hope you will be able to fulfill the following learning objectives. Explain what conservation is. Describe the need for the conservation of species, their habitats and natural resources. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages that tourism may have for conservation. And describe the principle of recycling materials and water. Thank you for joining us, and please enjoy the program with us.
You guys know what's bothering me, right? This land issue. When will it ever just end?
How can the land issue end when it is so expensive to buy houses in Namibia?
I know.
But land is also a natural resource, you know. It should be used properly and not damaged. And we should protect the animals on our land.
Okay, true.
But I'm so happy we were able to play a small part in creating awareness for the need to save rare species in their habitat.
I know, right? Yesterday was fun. What was that? I mean, I enjoyed it.
I did too. But hey guys, look what this newspaper article says. It says a member of the Royal British family is here in Namibia too.
Probably to come check out Namibia's beautiful woman, enjoy our sunshine, catch some fish.
No, right? John, look. It says he's here to help protect wildlife, especially that of the black rhino, which is on the verge of extinction. Wait, look. It also says it gives a clear description about what conservation is. Conservation is a process of maintaining the environment and natural resources in a state that maintains biodiversity.
They have already lost me. What is maintained and what are natural resources?
Mervyn, you explain to him.
Okay, dear John, conservation is restoring or saving whatever you have or use to help it last longer. Like, I don't know, what example can I use? You see what they do with the cheetahs in the Cheetah Conservation Fund? Yeah, they keep cheetahs in conditions, call them ecosystems, in which they love to live, so that the future for cheetahs are secure and they can breed, reproduce safely and happily, keeping the cheetah population very healthy. Yeah, that's better, right?
Okay, now I get it.
Yeah, there we go.
Conservation helps save and protect wildlife species.
Yeah, basically.
Different types of wildlife.
Exactly. And also their natural habitats, the areas where they live naturally. And also the natural resources, such as the food they eat, which should be in a good supply in the environment.
Exactly. That's exactly the point. Didn't you tell me of some story some time ago? I don't remember exactly what happened.
Oh yeah, yes, I remember. Some years ago, a rhino from a zoo in Finland was sent to Namibia. The rhino could no longer cope there, so they wanted to resettle him in their Etosha. But this rhino arrived in an airplane with a bag of apples as his food.
Seriously?
No wonder the poor animal couldn't survive. I mean, a zoo is not its natural habitat, and apples are definitely not its natural food. That situation was not sustainable.
Sustainable?
Sustainable means it wouldn't have lasted like that for long. Yeah.
Wait. It says here, conservation prevents the extinction of species.
What? Oh yeah, John, extinction means when certain species are wiped off the face of the earth completely. It has happened to a bunch of species like the Kauai bird from New Zealand and the mammoth.
Yes, we certainly do not want to add the black rhino and our cheetah to that list. Anyway, the second reason they list why conservation is important is similar to what you said, to preserve the species for future generations. And this is where biodiversity and the ecosystem comes in, like we talked about before.
Yeah.
If we protect all the different species of animals and plants in our country so they can all survive and be healthy, then it means the biodiversity of the area is maintained.
Nice.
If we conserve our environment, then the food chains, food webs, and the entire ecosystem remains healthy for our animals to survive for a long time into the future.
I wish mammoth had not died out. I would have loved to see mammoth too, roaming about in their Tosha.
And I would have loved to have a kiwi bird in my garden, because they couldn't fly, remember?
I think the two of you are missing the point here. The whole point of conservation is to keep these animals in their natural habitats, like see them and leave them alone, not keep them in your gardens.
Oh yes, Mervin, you have a point there.
But this is where we have a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Conservation also plays an important role in tourism. Look at how the Etosha Game Park attracts thousands of tourists to this country. They pay a lot of money in order to see animals in a natural habitat.
That's true. It is because of Namibia's reputation as a responsible conservation area that Prince Harry decided to come and help save our rhino and its ecosystem.
Although again, some people argue that because of tourism, animals cannot exist peacefully and roam freely without being fenced off, watched and disturbed by humans all the time.
But if the wildlife is not in protected encampments, the humans will destroy them all. Just imagine how many poor rhinos were brutally killed last year and this year for their horns.
I can't even think about it. It upsets me tremendously. But won't it help to dehorn the rhino? I mean, I feel if rhinos do not have their horns anymore, they won't be hunted, right?
Guys, it is just wrong to kill animals.
Yes, it's just not ethical. I mean, decent people do not kill animals to the point of wiping them out.
You guys are both right. Sad.
They also talk about recycling here. They say it is important that sewage water must be purified and recycled. And materials such as paper, plastics, and bottles must be recycled and reused too.
Reuse, reduce, and recycle.
You guys, is it true that the sewage water here in Windhoek is recycled? I mean, how gross. Huh? How healthy can that be?
Well, I have an idea. Let's go there for ourselves and see what they do with the water.
Sounds good. Where do we have to go?
They do it at the Gamam's Water Care Works. I know where it is.
Okay, seeing that you know where it is, you arrange for us to go there and then we can go see.
Let's go on a stingy outing. Not exactly a kind of place I'll take you on a date, Melissa. But I'll take it.
Let's go.
Good day, students. So you say you want to learn all about what happens to the water from when it is flushed all the way back to the kitchen tap?
Yes,
sir.
Okay, let me give you a brief tour and then we'll go back to my office for discussion. Right this way.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so very much, Mr. Winston. That was so interesting.
Well, okay, let's talk. As I mentioned when we were walking, water in Namibia is a very precious resource. It must be conserved, which is why this water reclamation plant was built. I have explained the whole process here on this poster. This is how water recycling is done step by step. Water and raw sewage from residential areas are collected at the collecting and pumping area here. The sewage inlet allows sewage water to flow to the screening area where solid large objects are removed.
Ew! One wonders what all those solid objects are, eh?
Is that like sand and stones in the sewage?
Yes, that's right, Melissa.
That makes more sense.
The screened sewage water is then moved to the grit removal area, where grit is removed. The sewage water is then moved to the primary sedimentation tank. In the primary sedimentation tank, solid matter forms a sludge, which is allowed to settle and then separated from the liquid waste matter. The sludge moves to the anaerobic digester, where it is digested by anaerobic bacteria. Methane and solid matter are produced during the process of anaerobic respiration. Methane is burned to produce energy for the sewage plant, while solid matter can be dried to be used as garden fertilizers. The liquid effluent is sprayed onto stones where aerobic bacteria and protoctists feed on sewage and remove harmful substances. Anaerobic bacteria that were in the liquid effluent are also killed during this process. And finally, clear effluent is produced. And this clear effluent can be pumped into the river or can be withdrawn to be purified by disinfecting it with chlorine and to be used again as drinking water. Quite a long and thorough process, but in short, that is how sewage water is recycled.
Wow. That's all I can say. Wow.
All I can say is wow. Thank you for the effort made by you to save water.
Well, as we always say, every drop counts.
We'll talk to the first person who seemed interested.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, have you guys read the paper today? It talks about how poachers are really killing tourism.
Again.
I mean, it makes you really wonder if it's really a good idea for a country to be known for having wildlife in abundance. I mean, maybe tourism is not all good for conservation.
Well, I wouldn't be so quick to judge. Don't forget the amount of money tourism brings into our country and the amount of jobs they produce for our people. Tourism earns countries in Africa about 410 billion Namibian dollars in a year. International tourists bring strong foreign currencies into the country by spending their money on accommodation, transport, entrance fees in national parks and restaurants. The tourist industry creates employment opportunities for locals. The jobs created by tourists include sales of crafts, tour guides, and working in hotels, lodges, restaurants, and in game reserves and other tourist attraction areas. And the government earns more revenue from tourists who pay taxes and visa fees.
What about the disadvantages of tourism?
Okay, let's do this. How about we stop people and ask them what they think? Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Hi sir, we are from NAMCO and we are conducting a short street survey for our biology lesson. We would like your opinion on whether tourism is bad for the conservation of wildlife in Namibia or not.
The cars that the tourists and the tour guides drive, it sometimes causes a lot of noise. And this, it really scares the animals and it disturbs wildlife.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Illegal immigration, smuggling, drug trafficking into the country may increase as some people come into the country as tourists with hidden agendas.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Well, I feel like criminals could take advantage of tourists and, rob them of their valuables like their cameras and other stuff.
Well, viewers, we hope you enjoyed our program on conservation today. We spoke about what conservation is, why it is important, and the different ways in which conservation is crucial in Namibia. We explained conservation as the process of keeping the environment and natural resources in a healthy state so as to preserve biodiversity. In other words, multiple species of plant and animal life. Conservation is important to prevent the extinction of species, conserve species for future generation, maintain biodiversity of an area, maintain food chains, food webs, and the entire ecosystem, improve tourism and therefore has economic value, and it is not ethical to kill animals in an irresponsible way. Also, materials must be reused, reduced, and recycled. Thank you for watching today. But before we go, here is our SMS competition. To SMS your answer, please enter the keyword for this program, which is conservation, and then send as your answer the option A, B, or C to the number 5003. One SMS costs $3 Here is the question. Which one of the natural resources can be recycled? Is it A, grit, B, water, or C, anaerobic bacteria? Which one of these can be recycled? We will announce the winner within 3 days. And if you are the winner, we'll call you to collect your prize at the Namcol Center nearest to you. See you again tomorrow when we will have another exciting lesson in our biology series. Until then, please save our animals, our beautiful country, and our precious water resources. Goodbye.